Hello, hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to the January edition of Tea with Me. And as per the normal, I'm just getting it in at the end of the month. Um, I think if I look back on the last 2 years of these episodes, I've probably scooted them in at the end of the month more times than not. But since it's January, I thought it would be a great idea to introduce myself, introduce this monthly video chat, and tell you a little bit about what the Tea with Me programs are about. So if you've been with me a while, you know what this is about. I apologize for repeating myself, but I've had a lot of new people join me. I reached a milestone of 5,000 subscribers this month, which I am just so appreciative of, and I'm really overwhelmed with the support. I can't believe it. When I started this channel, I didn't know if anybody would watch, so I'm feeling very, very blessed by the friendship and the support of my subscribers. So if you're new, you may never have seen one of these videos before, and yes, it's a chat video. So if you don't want to hear just papercraft chat and maybe some personal chat, this is probably not the video for you. I have lots of content for paper crafting and junk journals and polymer clay and gardening and artsy stuff on my channel. But once a month I indulge in a chatty chat video. Okay, all my videos are a little chatty chat. I'm a wordy person, but this is literally a chatty chat video. So if it's not for you, that's okay. I get it, and you can find something else to watch. But if you like a chatty video, if you like to have a little companionship when you craft, or when you have your coffee, or a glass of red wine, I'm not judging, then I hope you'll stay a while. So I do usually have a little bit of a format. I always have tea. I tell you what tea I'm drinking. And usually I talk a little bit about paper crafting things. I love vintage. I love going to estate sales and finding treasures. And guess what? I love to share it in this type of a video. So sometimes I'll do hauls. Sometimes I'll share vintage finds. Sometimes I usually always have book recommendations, and not book recommendations to read, but books to cut apart or be inspired by or to make things with. I have product recommendations. Sometimes I'll share other artists. It's really all about what's floating my boat right now, what's on my mind, and what's on my desk. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I hope you will stay, because we have a lot to chat about today. In fact, I have so much, I'm just going to sort of wing it and figure out when is the time to say the tea is done. So let's start first with my tea. I have a ginormous one today. I have Lady Grey, which is probably one of my favorite teas, turned on to me by my friend Deborah, Diane's sister. And I am not having any milk or sugar in it because I have started a brand new program of intermittent fasting. I don't know if people know what that is, but I'm trying to get healthy at the beginning of the year, and I am fasting 16 to 20 hours a day. Can you believe it? So I'm just hoping my stomach doesn't rumble when I'm making this video. But I have to say, it's really been a really good month for me to do this, and it's really helped me not only lose a few pounds, but I feel a lot more clearer in the head, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have a sip of tea, and let's get started. Before I start talking about paper and all things paper, I have to talk about something I've never talked about. Now, I have mentioned a few times in my videos, probably more than I'd like to, how horrible my hands are. Like, you watch people making tutorials or doing paper, and they have these gorgeous long nails and beautiful rings, and their hands are manicured, and most likely I have ink or dirt under my fingernails because I'm in the garden, or I've had my fingers in paint or gesso, and I never have my nails done. So a friend of mine started selling this product. Maybe you guys know about them. They're called Color Street nails, and they're like little stickers that you put on your nails, and they're like stick-on nail polish, and they're supposed to last as long as a manicure. And I said, well, I just don't think that that will hold up to being an artist and having my fingers in Fabri-Tac and all that kind of stuff. So she sent me some samples. Now, the samples come on like a little strip, and they look like they're like little fingernails. And I only got a sample of 2 for each color, and somehow I managed to do all the nails on this hand, although this finger is more like a collage than anything, and 4 of the fingers on this hand with 2 little samples. This sample is No Time, Long Time No See. It's kind of a beachy, blue, sparkly, mermaidy kind of fingernail polish. And this one's called Tokyo Lights, and it's like a sparkly polish. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, because I would like to have prettier hands when I'm on video. And if this could hold up to artist type activities and paints and inks, that would be awesome. So I don't know if it will. It's a complete experiment, but even if they don't, they seem like they'd be a really cool thing to do when I have a special occasion. I think it's exciting to put on nail polish and then do this right after. Like they're not wet or anything. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up. I didn't choose these colors. My friend Michelle chose them for me, and they're fine. I would love this in the summertime, I think, and this is very very glittery. So we'll see if they hold up, but this is why I have 2 different manicured hands and why they look the way they do. And maybe in some future videos, you'll see how they're holding up. So anyway, I will put the information below in case you're interested in learning about the stick-on nail polish. And my friend Michelle's in the United States, and she has a little fun side business with it. So the information will be below if you're interested. So that's my nails. Okay, so what do I want to talk about this month? Oh, there's so much for me to talk about. It's 2022, and it has been already a really challenging year for me. I got COVID the first week of the year, and I was actually quite sick with it, even though I'm up to date on my vaccines. It still got to me, and I was still in bed for a week. So that took 1 week of my month away. And then I had to move my son back to college, and we had some things going on behind the scenes that I've had to deal with. So I've kind of lost half the month. But I've been working really, really hard to kind of fill my goals that I set forth for myself. And I wanted to share those with you today. So 2022 is a year I really want to get my digital shop underway. I have been purchasing amazing amounts of paper for years now with the intent that I was going to have a vintage paper shop, which I did start with my friend Diane. And then, I don't know, COVID happened. We lost our mojo. We started working for the estate sale company. And now I just need to get rid of the paper. It's beautiful, amazing paper, but I need to purge because I can only use so much, and I really just don't have the energy to sell it all. So having said that, the better paper, the paper that I've really been looking high and low for at vintage flea markets and online and at estate sales, I am going to be scanning and putting in my digital shop. And because Valentine's Day is just around the corner, I actually got a couple in the shop today, some new ones that I think you're going to like. This first one is a set of beautiful, beautiful Victorian cards that they used to put in their scrapbooks. And I actually have a friend who has one of the largest trade card collections that I've ever seen. And she was good enough to let me borrow some of them for some of these kits, and then some of them were mine as well. So this I thought would be perfect for Valentine's Day. It's a set of 4 Victorian trade cards. They are all from a personal collection, so they're, I don't know if you can even find them online on public domain, because these came from a private collection. So these I think are really great, and I'll show you. I think I have I made a couple little things with them. I made a little notepad with one of them. I thought it would be really cute for Happy Mail. The images just look beautiful, and I just love how that came out. And then I made this little matchbook style notebook from another one, with another little one of the trade cards in there. And I just think that this would be terrific for Valentine's Day. I have the other ones cut out somewhere. Here they are. This is what they look like when they're printed on cardstock and cut out. I just thought they were just so pretty. Now this one has a little stain, and that's from me. It's not on the original. And I will talk about that in a minute. Now the second set, I just adore. They have a black background, and they are, again, these beautiful, beautiful cards. They're kind of like an all year round thing. There's garden, there's sort of spring cards, summer cards. There's like this winter card, sort of like Valentine's Day. This one I think kind of reminds me a little bit of fall, because it has like these like orange leaves at the bottom. It's just really beautiful, beautiful trade cards. And there's so much room here to write. You could print them off smaller and make them as book plates inside of a book. When you're making a journal, I thought they would be really beautiful book plates, and you could write an inscription on them. So I really liked them. And I thought they would also print out really beautiful, and you could tie them with a little string and put a little charm on them. And how beautiful would this be for a Valentine's Day, like a little Happy Mail? So that's 2 of the kits that I did. And I want to show you, so I have some original pieces from my private collection, and they were taken out of scrapbooks. They were soaked out of scrapbooks, Victorian scrapbooks. And when you look on the back of them, you can see that there's like all this patina to them. And then you can sometimes see where the glue was used. And a lot of times they used to make wheat paste themselves, a little bit slimy. That's why you can soak them off. And they would leave these sort of like these marks. And a lot of the trade card series I've seen also had stamps with numbers on them that sort of like identified them. So what I wanted to do was take the cards from the kit and replicate that, so that if they were used in a journal, they would look authentic. So what I did was I took one of these little plastic acrylic rubber stamp blocks and just squirted it a little bit with alcohol ink, but you could also put like really strong tea or coffee. And then I put it on there, and then I just took the card and then I tapped it. You could tap it on all 4 corners or the middle, and it gives that same effect that is on the back of the originals. It almost looks exactly like that, the glue spots that they used. And then I took some red ink and used some number stamps and just stamped the backs the way that I have seen Victorian cards stamped. So on cardstock, they look almost identical to the originals. I don't have the originals anymore. I wish I did, so I could show you how similar they look, but they really are such a great replica that you could use in your journals. The same with these. I did the same thing. I used a slightly bigger stamp for the numbers, but kept the numbers the same because I want them all to be the same series. And you can see it really gives it that authentic look. So that's the first 2 sets. I really hope you like them. And look, I found one today that's similar to this black set. Look at the back. it still has a little bit of the paper on it. So, you know, making the back distressed really is in line with like the original cards. The other set that I did was based on something I love to collect. I love to collect artist palette cards. So, and again, I actually gave my set to my friend who lets me borrow hers. Sort of the way I trade. If I find some beautiful trade cards, I'll scan them and then give them to her for her collection. So anyway, I have a little set of palette cards that I've put together. And these are all authentic cards, again, from a private collection. I actually purchased these at auction and loved having them in my hands, loved scanning them, and then I let them go. But I really always knew I wanted to make a digital kit from them. They were used for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes they were trade cards, sometimes they were in scrapbooks. This one is a Christmas greeting, and there's all different ones. I took different ones and put them together. I think there's 7 in all, but I've made it into 3 pages of different sizes. So I have this larger one, some smaller ones that have scenery. These dog palettes I just think are phenomenal. I absolutely loved this card. So I took the graphic out and isolated it, boosted it up just a little bit so that it can be fussy cut out, or you could use it as a card. There's that same Christmas card done smaller. And then I have this beautiful one that was of a Victorian woman. And this was like a gross grain, am I saying that right? Ribbon. It's actual ribbon. So it's photographed in on the scan. And you can see I made them in different sizes. So I put this in my shop and I was about to go live with it. And I started cutting them out and I realized that not everybody is going to want to cut them out. Like I cut out the holes because I thought that's how I would always use them. But then I realized I might not want to always cut them. And then it would be a weird white center. So not weird white, but you can see it's white. And maybe you wouldn't want to keep that white. So I thought, well, how hard would it be to ink? Well, it's not hard to ink at all. This one I inked and it blends really nicely. But not everybody inks. And I just thought I should give another option. So I took the kit down and I made the same kit with a separate section that I filled in the holes. So you can still see the palette hole, but if you don't want to cut it out, it's not so obvious. So you can, it still looks like a palette, but it just makes it a little bit, you know, a little bit more versatile for people. So if you go to my my Etsy shop, you'll see that you will get the full set with the white centers and the full set with the filled in centers. And then what can you do with them? Well, it's the same types of things. You can cut them out. This would look adorable as a journaling card. It could even be on a cover. I would love to see this as a cover on a plain journal. I don't know if I have a plain journal available. Just use the back of this one. How pretty would that be for an art journal? I just love it. The dog ones, I just think they're just so sweet. I love the colors and how colorful they are. And I love the Victorian woman. And then there's also there's 2 of the different scenery. So they're really great for journaling cards, for the front of covers, to stick in Happy Mail. Really great little items. My friend Sharon of Mad Paper Crush just did a great video on a little ephemera, like a little ephemera holder for Happy Mail. I'm going to link that video down below because it's terrific. I actually want to try it out, and I think I'll be putting things like this inside of it. Little tiny, cute cards that are different and pretty, I think always are welcome in Happy Mail. So that is the first part. Oh, I'm going to talk about a freebie at the end of this video. I am so incredibly blessed to have hit 5,000 subscribers. I want to celebrate. I was going to do a giveaway, but I decided instead to do a freebie. Keep on watching so that you can get all the details on how to get your free digital kit from me. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about? I kind of want to talk about in 2022 what my goals are artistically, what my goals are for professionally and artistically. And hopefully it'll explain a little bit more my Instagram feed, which can sometimes go back and forth. And also, I just wanted to give you guys, my paper-loving people, a heads up on some things that are coming down the pike. So first off, I want to say I have two very distinct sides of my journaling personality. I have this side, the side that makes journals and loves to put memories in them and, journal and write and, all the things that we junk journalers love to do. I love to make them. I love to journal in them. I love to record keep. I love to write down my thoughts. There's that side of my personality. That side of my creative personality, I love to make tags. I love to make ephemera. I love all pretty paper things. But then the other side of my personality is all about ripping and collage. It's all about layers and experimenting and words and paint and getting dirty and making things that are therapeutic to me, writing and painting and things like that. Very mixed media. That really, for me, feeds my soul. Like, it's not like writing about what I did or my trip. It's, it's not documenting in that way. It's more like an exploration of feelings and a little bit like art therapy. So you'll see that on my Instagram feed, I have a lot of traditional junk journal things, and then I have a lot of mixed media things. And, I started like really thinking about that and saying, should I be sticking over here or should I be sticking over here? And I decided it's okay to be both. I think a lot of us have craft ADD or art ADD where we want all the things. We want to do all the projects. We want to try everything. And we can't be good at everything. And I'm not saying I am, that's for sure. But I know that this feeds a construction creative piece of me that is different than this. And I need both. So when you subscribe to this channel or follow me on Instagram, you're going to see both. I'm not always going to be one or the other. And sometimes it can be both in one day. So I just kind of wanted to address that because at the last year, I was really trying to say, do I stay here? Do I stay here? Do I stay here? Do I stay here? And then I realized, first of all, my word of the year last year was release. So I'm releasing that. I'm releasing that struggle because it doesn't need to be a struggle. And then my word this year is curious, and I'm going to apply curiosity to why I love this and why I love this. What do I get out of this? And where does this take me? And where do these projects take me? So you will see both. I am working currently in this little book. This piece of quilt was done by a woman named Norma Jo, and she was overseas in Japan after World War II, and I bought this old quilt that was falling apart at a estate sale and a bunch of pictures of her. And this is beautiful Norma Jo. And I had put it away. I bought it during, the first summer, so 2020 of COVID, and I put all the stuff away. She had just moved, and she moved about 45 minutes from me. And I just decided I wanted to use her pictures and her things 2 weeks ago. And I wanted to learn her name. So I knew the address that I was at the estate sale, and I looked her up, and she had just passed away. And it was so weird that I was reaching for all of her things at the same time that she was moving on. And I just feel such kismet with this book and about using her things, and that this is the right time to use Norma Jo's things. Here's Norma Jo's eyes. Is she not stunning? So this is the little book I'm working in right now, my tiny sacred book. So you'll see this on my Instagram feed. And then the other thing I've been doing is making paper box journals, which I have a series going right now. These are the two I've done so far. This is a mac and cheese journal from a mac and cheese box. And this one is a cracker box. And my next one that I'm hoping to tape in the next day or so is my spaghetti box journal. And I think this is going to be a note journal and a checklist journal. I'm not sure what I'm doing this. This is the bottom piece, right? So, or this way. There it is. Anyway, that will be coming up. So I will be this year working in both of these areas. So I just kind of wanted to chat about that. And then the last thing, because I don't want this video to get too long, and really there's so many things I could talk about, but I will save some of my normal things that I do in these videos for February, since February is like a week away, so I can just move some of my recommendations to there. One of the things I wanted to talk about before I show the freebie is the amount of paper that I have to get rid of this year. So 2020, I have lots of goals. I want to really beef up my digital shop. I want to scan some of these amazing pieces of paper that I've been collecting and purchasing, and then I want to release them. And the really high-end paper, I will probably sell on eBay or on some auction sites. I also know some paper dealers. If you are interested in high-end paper, like beautiful Victorian things you will not use in your crafts, things you will collect, then, private message me, because I will be releasing some of that stuff this year. And then I have a whole lot of craft-worthy paper, like magazines and letters and envelopes and books and book covers and crafting material and textiles and buttons, and I could go on and on. I kind of went a little crazy when I thought I was going to have my online shop, and now it's weighing on me. And Diane and I are going to be liquidating everything. She's going to take some stuff and bring it to the estate sales, and I am going to liquidate some stuff probably through my Instagram page is what I'm thinking. I'm actually considering having some online auctions on Instagram or my YouTube channel to get rid of a lot of stuff at really decent prices. I want to do flea market boxes. I need to purge, and I need to keep only what I'm going to use and let the rest go. So if that is something you're interested in, I would definitely say follow me on Instagram, because that is where I am probably going to talk most about it on a daily basis. That will all have my sales. So you want to go to Tape and Twine, but I will put it below the link because it's kind of a funky name. My name's a little funky to find. And that's the place where I'll be talking about where I'm going to sell it, when I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to get that going soon. I was supposed to be heading into surgery 2 days ago, major surgery that was going to keep me laid up for 8 weeks. And that surgery got canceled because our hospitals are so inundated with COVID patients. So now I have found myself to have my winter different than I thought it was going to be, and I want to get rid of paper. So I wanted to let you know that, not because I'm trying to sell, but because if you're interested, just follow me. I really am motivated on getting rid of all sorts of ephemera and paper type of stuff. Okay, so I've talked about my art. I've talked about my Etsy shop. I've talked about getting rid of paper. The last thing I want to talk about is my freebie. So let's talk about the freebie. It's almost Valentine's Day, and I want to share some love with you, some really cute love. I think I purchased this set at a flea market, but I can't quite remember. Hold on, sip. But it's got that really cute vintage feel. So it's called Rustcraft, and they were Rustcraft Valentines. And here was the packaging. The envelope was big. You know, like not hugely big, but you know, this is not the actual size. I kind of, you know, reduced it down. So it was probably 5 by 7, if not much bigger. It could have been bigger. It wasn't 8 by 11. Maybe it was 8 by 11. I don't remember. It could have been 8 by 11, the envelope. But this was the front of the envelope, and that was the back of the envelope, and I thought it was just really adorable. I love this little kitten. And it had 12 cute Valentines for 59 cents. I did not get all 12, unfortunately. There was only 4 that came with it, but those 4 are really cute. So I got this cute little Bo Peep, and this cute little kitten, and this cute little boy, which I fixed his hat since then, and this chick. And then I also have the backgrounds. So as you can see, it says B right here, and this says A. So you cut this out, and then you glue A to B, and it flaps down, and you can write in the Valentine. And I thought we would do that today, or I would do that and demonstrate it. And then you can download this whole kit, which includes the 4 Valentines, the background, which you will need, and 2 different sizes of the envelopes. I've created a size that's big enough to actually fit these in if you wanted to gift it to someone, and a one that's smaller that would be a wonderful flip out, like in a journal, right? You could put these together back to back and maybe put some sewing or just glue them on, and they would be a great tip in or a tuck spot and a really fun junk journal. You get all 4 sheets for free because I love you and because you've shown me so much love. How do you get them? Well, I have been seeing more and more of these buy me a copy. Let me start over. Buy me a coffee sites, and they're a terrific place to put free items that people can get to easily. You can download them. They can be big files, and you can offer things for free. So that's what I've done. I've set up a buy me a coffee page. Now, don't be confused. Yes, buy me a coffee pages are places where you can tip artists or people that put out content if you feel like they're doing a great job. And I have done that. I have bought people coffee through there. However, that is not why I set it up. I set it up that way because I needed a central place around the world that anybody from wherever you live could sign in, download, and you could do it for free. But if you've never used that site before, when you click on the link, which I will put in the description box below, it's going to take you there, and it's going to say 0, but it's going to ask you how much you want to pay for it. You can simply type 0 and you'll get it for free. And I don't want you to think that I expect you to pay for this kit. This kit is a gift. I am gifting it to you because I want to gift it to you. But if you've not used that site before, you may feel like you're obligated to purchase something. And I am telling you, you are not. So the link will be below. Click on it. You will see a little icon for this. It'll say Rustcraft Valentines. I have zipped it all together. It's high resolution, 300 DPI. The user agreement is basically the same as anything else. It's for your personal collection. It is for you using things, Happy Mail and your own journals. You are not to sell it. You are not to put it in your own digital shop. It's not to be used that way, but you can use it for light commercial if you want to put it on an 8 journals and sell those 8 journals, that's fine. You can totally do that. So anyway, that is my little gift to you. My dogs are barking. They must be very excited to tell you thank you as well. And let me cut them out and demonstrate how they go together. So this project is very straightforward. It's really all you have to do is cut out all the pieces, and then you'll be putting the background, you'll be putting the Valentines onto the background, attaching A to B. So you'll need to print out 2 of the backgrounds so that you have 4 backgrounds. And I do recommend printing out the Valentines and the backgrounds on cardstock, but you'll see later why that's important. So I'm just going to be cutting out the pieces and parts for now, which will take me a few minutes, and it gives me the opportunity to talk to you about one other thing that's really important to me, and I really need your help. And it gives you the opportunity to maybe win some actual vintage goodies. So as I'm going through my collection, I am noticing that I have some really amazing, beautiful paper. And it's the kind of paper that we drool over, right? It's the stuff that we all go to flea markets and touch and look at, and some of it we just hope someday we can own it. And I don't know, I just really appreciate old things. I appreciate old writing and beautiful paper, and I think you guys do too. So I thought it might be really cool to do these little short videos, like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes, where there's really no talking, and it's just looking at a beautiful book or looking at some beautiful letters or some other really unique and gorgeous paper. Sort of like if you were going to take a coffee break and you wanted to just watch a video that just kind of relaxes you and makes you just look at something really pretty. Sometimes it's nature, sometimes it could be, something in travel. And I'm thinking we would really like paper. Like I would watch something like that. So my question is, would you? Would you take a coffee break and watch a little video that had like a theme? Let's say one theme was ledgers and just beautiful old ledgers. Maybe there's an intro for a minute about what you're going to see, but for the most part, no talking, just really enjoying the beauty and sound of old paper. If you say yes, you would like a video like that, what would you name it? What would you call it? I really want to try a couple of these, and I just don't know what to call it, and I'm finding myself in a creative slump. So, in the comments below, put your idea. If you have an idea of what you would like, if you, number one, have an idea of what the video should be called, put that below. Even if you're not interested in watching the video, I still want to hear your ideas. And if you're interested in seeing a video like that, then put that as well in the comments. I'd love to know, number one, if you'd be interested and what kind of paper you'd like to look at. If you were going to have a little, let's say, paper vacation or a little coffee break. So that's really it. Just in the comments below, put your ideas for the name and whether or not you'd be interested in what you'd like to see. And you don't even have to answer all 3 of those questions. You could just answer one of those questions if you want. And if I use your idea for the name of the video, then I will send you a little kit of beautiful vintage papers anywhere in the world. I don't mind. So let me know what you think. And I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So that was what I wanted to tell you about. And this was a perfect time to do it. Now, I think you saw me cutting everything out. And the first Valentine, the cat, I just cut straight out. This time I'm backing the girl with some pretty paper. Why am I doing that? Because when you fold her down, I thought it might be nice to actually see something different than just a white back piece. So let's see if we like that better. So I'm just fussy cutting, and I don't know if you noticed the scissors that I kind of held up. These were Christmas gift from my husband. They are fussy cut scissors with big handholds, which are a bit more comfortable to cut with, I would say, for long sessions. I can really have a lot of movement on them, and I can fit my whole hand in versus the little ones where my fingers are in there. So in those little holes, I'm just going to ink around the edge and She's on cardstock. And, oh no, she isn't on cardstock. She just has the double layer. And the cat is just a single layer. And I want you to see what happens when I fold her and glue her down versus the single layer. Can you see? She's almost standing up, which is kind of cool because you could put it on a desk. And if she was cardstock, she probably would stand up, which might be a really nice little decoration. So I'm just folding the tab and putting glue on the A and putting it down on the B. So this one, the little kitty cat, is just a single layer. So you're going to see it lays flat. It doesn't pop up at all because it's so thin. Again, you are such a creative group of people. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out really cool ways to make these Valentines even better than they are. On this one, I just put a little piece of washi tape because I want to hide that tab. And then on the cat, I had punched out some paper hearts, and I'm actually just going to glue like a little collection of paper hearts around the edge of that tab. Both, you don't really need to do this, but it would be a way to make the Valentine a little bit more finished. And you'll see that the last things I do is ink it and write a message to you. So that was January Tea with Me. I'm looking forward to making a February one much sooner. I already know what I'm going to do. I have lots of fun, vintage, beautiful things to share with you and an idea I'm percolating that I want to share as well. So my 2 book shares are going to be kind of quirky. I really love spending time with you every month, and I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to spend it with me. I hope that you will check out my printables in the Etsy shop. I hope you will download the freebie and make something cute. And if you have any ideas for what I should name that the new video idea I have, keep in mind I will, if I use your idea, I will be sending you some goodies. So I guess that's it. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I really, really hope that you stay safe, and I will see you in February. Bye, guys.